Welcome back. Nigeria's Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) says it had started temperature screening of passengers arriving from places at risk from Ebola and had suspended Pan-African airline ASKI for bringing the first case to Lagos, southwest Nigeria. Ebola has been blamed for 729 deaths in Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. According to the World Health Organization, one died in Lagos, a crowded city of 21 million people. NCAA spokesperson Sam Adurogboye said the screening and monitoring is being done at all major international airports. It entails checking passengers' temperatures with a handheld machine. A compulsory blood test would follow if the passenger's temperature gave cause for concern. A compulsory blood test would follow if the passenger's temperature gave cause for the concern. And he decided, or rather he added, that it meant for any journey that passed through Liberia, Guinea, or Sierra Leone. Barack Obama has pledged $7 billion in aid to provide electricity to Sub-Saharan Africa, as he warned Africans to be wary of exploitation by other countries, including the U.S. Obama said this in a speech at the University of Cape Town in South Africa, that America wants to unleash the power of entrepreneurship and markets create opportunities in Africa. U.S. President Barack Obama, in an address, that the future stability of the world depends on African nations achieving prosperity and self-reliance. According to him, funds from the electricity initiative dubbed Power Africa will be distributed over the next 5 years to 6 countries: Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Liberia, Nigeria, and Tanzania. Obama said the U.S. wants to help Africa without interfering like colonial powers did in the past. Let's take a listen.
And the summit reflects a principle that has guided my approach to Africa ever since I became president: that the security and prosperity and justice that we seek in the world cannot be achieved without a strong and prosperous and self-reliant Africa. And even as we deal with crises and challenges in other parts of the world that often dominate our headlines, even as we acknowledge the real hardships that so many Africans face every day, we have to make sure that we're seizing the extraordinary potential of today's Africa, which is the youngest and fastest growing of the continents.
Meanwhile, reacting to that speech, Kenya's Ministry of Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed speaks ahead of the first ever U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington from August 4 to 6, saying the relationship between the rest of the world and Africa has moved from aid to economic deals. Let's take a listen.
The focus is no longer on aid, on humanitarian assistance, on that kind of support, right? Which was very welcome, but I think it's really time. It's long overdue that we move this relationship to the economic sphere, right? Where we can reap benefits, and it can be almost a partnership. From 9/11 to today, I mean, the U.S. has constructed, right, a whole series of not just instruments that deal with terrorism, but also methods of dealing with terrorism. So that's what we hope we can benefit from. He's talked about, or every time any reference is made to him, that the name of our country keeps popping up. We're very happy about that. He's been, I think, one of the best products that Kenya has ever had. We're just looking forward to going to DC and having a really, really good time and having good conversations, and coming back having attracted a lot of investment into our country, into the continent.
And still on the matter, in a related development, speaking ahead of the first ever U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, James Shikwati, director of the Inter-Region Economic Network, says the U.S. and China are in competition to grab a piece of African pie, presenting the continent with both opportunities and threats.